After 7 months in the ground, this garlic is finally ready to harvest. And so in this video, I will be showing you the 2 clear signs to look for to know that your garlic is ready. So to start off, we are growing soft neck varieties of garlic. Here in zone 9, soft neck varieties do best because soft neck varieties of garlic are not as hardy to the cold. And the best time to plant your garlic is in late fall if you live in a mild winter climate. So we planted in mid-November, and now 7 months later in June, we are ready to harvest. So the first sign to look for is when the leaves start dying back. Once you notice that a third of the leaves have died back, go ahead and check on the size of your garlic bulbs. Just gently dig around the edges of the garlic bulb and check on the size. If they appear to be too small, go ahead and let them mature a bit longer. However, once 50% of the leaves have died back, go ahead and harvest no matter what the size of the garlic bulbs are. If you harvest too early, the bulbs will be on the smaller side and they won't store very well. On the other hand, if you leave the bulbs in the ground too long and they get overly mature, the bulbs can start to separate and they also won't store very long. The next sign that your garlic is ready to harvest is when the top of the garlic flops over. You can see here that the neck of this garlic has flopped over. This isn't going to happen with all of the garlic, but for the ones that it does happen, it's a clear sign that it's ready to harvest. So ideally, you want your cloves to get as large as possible, and as long as there are still green leaves, your cloves can continue to mature. But each green leaf at harvest time represents an extra layer of skin that protects the bulbs during long-term storage. And that's why it's a good idea to leave at least 4 to 5 green leaves at harvest time. And now that we're getting ready to harvest, you can just use a garden trowel or your fingers and gently dig around the outer edges of the garlic bulbs. You want to make sure you get underneath the roots and then gently tug upwards to loosen up the roots and then gently pull the garlic bulbs from the soil. It's also a best practice to keep the freshly harvested garlic out of the sun. So depending on how much garlic you have to harvest, you may want to do it in small bunches and then move the harvested garlic into the shade while you finish up. And then after harvesting, don't worry about removing any of the soil. The first step is to cure your garlic. And there are many methods for curing your garlic. I put my garlic on one of these plastic plant trays, and then I have it on a wire rack in the garage. Lots of people hang their garlic to cure. It really doesn't matter as long as you have your garlic in a dark area out of the sunlight with good air circulation. And you want to make sure that all the papery skin, the roots, and the stems completely dry out, and then you know the curing process is complete. Usually this takes anywhere from about 3 to 6 weeks. And the thing with garlic is that it's out of sight while it's maturing. We can't see when it's ready like we do with a tomato or a pepper. And so we have to pay attention to other signs to know that it's ready to harvest. And there are lots of other crops out in the garden like that. And if you head to this video right here, I go over lots of tips to help you harvest all of your root crops right on time. And so head to that video next, and I'll see you there.